The felon suffers a major health crisis and he's impeached for a third time. And the third impeachment comes after he's left the planet. Let's look into that. Welcome to Scrying Out Loud. My name is Trevor. First off, thank you to everybody who's subscribed to the channel. Thank you for liking, watching, sharing the videos, for commenting on the videos. If you've given money to the channel, a huge, huge thank you. I have a couple new tarot decks coming, so that's very exciting. So I was scrying this morning. I'm recording this on Thursday morning at about 5:30 in the morning. Just usually about I usually meditate about 4. Um, I got a very the image was this. It was the felon walking in. It appeared to be probably in Florida. It looked like he just had gotten back from golfing. He looked, you know, sweaty and icky. And um, he just kind of collapsed. And then the next image was him lying flat on the floor with people over him and them asking him, to try to raise both hands. Or that's what my interpretation. I couldn't actually hear it, but like testing for like stroke to see if one side's different than the other. And then after that, I got some more images on some other things that I'm working on. And then it went back to the House voting. Hakeem Jeffries was clearly the Speaker of the House at this time. And it was an impeachment vote. And it felt like it was going to, like, it was pretty close to unanimous, but it felt like the felon was gone. Like, did a whole bunch of information come out that, like, made them have a ceremonial impeachment vote to kind of try to erase him from the history books? And yeah, let's look into that. Let's start with the health crisis. So this vision of this health crisis, what can you tell us about that? Can you tell us about, is the felon going to suffer a major health crisis? Felon going to suffer a major health crisis. I don't know that it led to his passing. I didn't see that in the imagery, although it felt very serious. And I've always seen him passing after there's a new pope, but shortly, just really quickly after there's a new pope. Well, that's the way it feels. It's possible he passes before the pope. Is the felon going to have a major health crisis? Yeah, I could see him lying in like a hospital bed, being surrounded by people, but him not being conscious. I think they'll try to keep everything really hush hush, though. If they can avoid, like ambulances and things like that, I think they will. We get the Empress card. That's interesting. So that's the card for Russia. I guess it's possible that Russia could be involved in this. The challenge is keeping himself safe. The Seven of Wands, defending himself or defending his health. That's the challenge. There's an awful lot on his plate, real or imaginary. he's in a situation that is where he's feeling a little bit overwhelmed. And I think he's feeling a little bit overwhelmed because he's confused why people aren't just doing what he wants as far as world leaders. I think this is not what he was expecting, and even governors. In the past, we get the Three of Wands waiting for the ship to come in, foreign influence, but it's in the past. Feeling confined, feeling trapped within your own mind, feeling like you can't verbalize things, the Eight of Swords. In the near future, we get celebrations, the Knight of Wands. This goes with my image of people celebrating his passing. Yeah, we get the World card again, the end of a cycle, something coming to an end, that being his health, I think. We get the Five of Wands, people fighting about how to handle the situation. They're not quite sure how to go about it. We get the Hanged Man, pausing, suspension, like everybody needing to take a deep breath in the hopes and fears. Not sure how to proceed after this event. We get intergenerational thoughts, thoughts of children, which would make sense. Yeah, we get the Five of Cups. This is the minor arcana. Well, kind of a minor arcana death card. It's definitely the card for loss, the loss of health. And we get the angels. I don't think he's going to get visited by angels necessarily, but that's what popped into my mind with the temperance card. Yeah, underneath we have ill health, the Four of Swords, unlikely partnerships, which might lead to his demise. And the Ten of Pentacles is all about inheritance. This is sometimes the inheritance card. And messages coming forward about his health. I don't know that he passes during this instant, but it's definitely a reevaluation of who he is health wise by the public. Okay. So let's look into this third impeachment. Let's see. Will the felon be impeached again? Let's just start with that, and then we'll get into the nitty gritty. So fiery message coming forward, something being revealed. The felon be impeached again. Be impeached again. Yeah, very clearly getting the image of Hakeem Jeffries. He's in like a charcoal suit, wearing like a dark blue tie, not super flashy, dressed very well. And the mood is like the water's super still. It's like the mood is just super somber. Yeah, and even the Republicans, they're just kind of sitting there. Like everybody's in the chamber just sitting there listening to the debate. Yeah, it's weighs really heavy on everybody. That's the feeling. The Ten of Wands explains that feeling very well. It's like everyone in the house is very burdened by this task, but it feels necessary. The challenge is apathy because it feels like he's not present on the planet at this point in time, which is interesting. Yeah, we get lost with the Five of Cups. I think he's already departed when this happens. Yeah, wounded in battle, the minor arcana death card, the Five of Swords, wounded in battle, but it's in the past. So it's like that's already happened. We get the card for the presidency, abuse of power. He's done something bad. Abuse of power, the card for the presidency. Yeah, and get the lovers card. I'll let you kind of fill in the blanks there on in the perverted sense of the word lover, I think is what we're talking about. We'll read on that here in just a second. The impeachment goes through, the victory card comes out with the Six of Wands. And it's fiery and passionate. People are very passionate about wanting it known that whatever this behavior, which I think we all know what it is, uh, can't stand even in death. And the hopes and fears we get temperance, a return to moderation, a return to decency. The outcome card is defending his reputation, the Seven of Wands. The guardrails, they're finally, they're finally being put back up. The country's kind of getting back on track. I don't think it's quite there yet. We get the Queen of Wands, very passionate messages coming forward. Underneath, we have the Queen of Pentacles, unlikely partnerships, things coming to the surface with the Moon card. There's a lot of thought put into the way they do this. Like it wasn't haphazard. They put a lot of thought into it and they made some choices, basically to send a message with the Wheel of Fortune that this isn't going to be tolerated. So I do think he gets impeached again. I do think it's after his death, though. Let's just ask the question, kind of what is the impeachment about? And I don't know that it's just one thing. I think it's a combination of things, but I think underneath it is some serious allegations, for entertainment purposes only. We've certainly hinted around about them. If there's a third impeachment, can you show us what it's about? Impeachment, what's it about? You see the Empress in the water, so there's some tie to Russia as well. I don't think it's just one thing. I think Russia might be the source of the information, though, but it gets verified. Let's see, Senator Klobuchar, like just in dismay, like a state of distress almost when this story breaks. It consistency, logical thinking, logically applying the laws to everyone in an equal way. It's his downfall, the Ten of Swords. Perhaps he's already passed, and that's part of the challenge too, is to why are we rehashing this? But it feels necessary. It's very well thought out. It's we get pausing and suspension, the hanged man. It's not like they're gonna do this just to do it. They're gonna do it to send a message. With the Queen of Pentacles, stability, nurturing, all the, this is in the past. All those things he was doing with money, it's in the past. It's come out. With the Five of Pentacles, poverty, loss. The economy's probably not doing well at this time either. Um, Money laundering comes to mind for entertainment purposes only. Things coming to the surface. The Moon card. And it's a way to pass a judgment on his actions while president, but not in an official capacity. I don't think this has anything to do with anything he did as an official act. It's just high crimes and misdemeanors. And there's so many things that he that are discovered that it's hard to pin it down onto one thing. The hope is that this gives us a new beginning, a new reset to our politics almost. That's the hope. The fear is that it won't make a difference, but the hope is that it gives us a reset and that we have strength to get through it, even though it's going to be arduous and burdensome, but it will be the end of a cycle, tens or ends. There's going to be like the US is going to feel very isolated and alone as a country as a whole. Something to do with money. The Queen of Cups is very emotional, overseas influence, things moving quickly, the light being shed on everything, everything coming out, nothing hidden anymore with the Sun card. Has to do with intergenerational relationships. You can pervert that a little bit. And it's a crossroads. And yeah, I think he's gone. I think because it's the end of the cycle. But with it comes justice. Yeah, here's the kind of the death card, the Five of Cups. So I think ultimately it's about that Chariot card with the intergenerational relationships and the Lovers card coming up in those outcome positions. So I think that's all going to come to light. And I think Republicans are going to really, it'll just ruin any any good thoughts of him whatsoever. So yeah. Well, thanks for watching. I'll be back with another video soon.